All right, folks, I want to talk to you for a moment about PolyMarket. None of you have heard of PolyMarket until this year. It is an offshore online betting site owned in part by Peter Thiel and some other folks. And it has become the right-wingers' go-to message point to say, Trump's odds of winning are 4,000% to 1, and to push out this narrative about where the race actually stands. I want to issue this as a note of caution because I do believe that betting markets have a valid place in society. I think people in large numbers have this sort of Delphic ability to see where things are. But PolyMarket isn't that. It's owned by a guy who is very much not an advocate of American democracy. It is owned by a guy who says it publicly. He's not in for Trump. He's in for Trump. And the structure of it is both mathematically unsound and politically unsound, but it is convincing millions and millions of Americans to look at this race in a way that isn't real. And the MAGA folks are clinging to PolyMarket now as a lot of the other averages aren't working out the way they thought, as this thing that's very much like they're holding it up like this totemic thing, like, oh, well, Trump's ahead in PolyMarket, therefore it's real. It's not real, y'all. There are 4 accounts, 4 anonymous accounts placing orders paid through by Bitcoin, blah, 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 that are dumping massive pro-Trump bets into this market. It's altering what the market looks like. These 4 accounts that are accounting for this massive swing on PolyMarket's odds for Trump, we don't know who they are. They all trade at the same time. Weirdly, they all tend to trade in Moscow time. I don't know. Call me crazy about that. I don't know what that's all about. But this idea that this one website is going to call this race is absurd. And, I always caution people, polling is a broken institution. We do a lot of it, but we do it very carefully and methodically, and we don't use traditional methods alone. We don't just call landline phones where grandpa answers and has an hour and a half to chat. But PolyMarket is the anonymous nature of these massive bets that are altering the market. It should set off every alarm in your head. And honestly, for right now, until PolyMarket has some transparency, they're on the enemies list.